What up? It's your boy Don. I'm here with another video today. We're going to talk about a serious issue I've been seeing all over the internet, all over YouTube. I've had this conversation with one person actually, but they was unaware of the situation, so I was pretty much just telling them the situation, but we never had a back and forth discussion on how the situation, if it's true or not, okay? And this situation is Bruno Mars appropriating the culture? Alright. Let's get down to what is the culture, because some people don't know what that is. Some people just use that word to mean whatever they want it to mean, and that's not what it means. Okay, it's not whatever you want it to mean. The culture is, I wouldn't say it's specifically black culture. It is just the culture of the music created or predominantly performed by black people. Alright, the culture is, it's the music culture, but it's not everybody's music culture. It's, to a specific genre. So, like, if somebody is a rapper and they're like, yeah, I'm doing it for the culture, what they're supposed to mean is, I'm keeping my artistic integrity. I'm trying to make sure that my music is saying to great quality because I'm doing this to represent hip-hop. I'm doing this music to represent everybody who has, put the pen to the pad and wrote in some fire bars. I'm doing this for that culture. And in the terms of R&B, doing it for the culture is pretty much the same thing. I'm making sure my music is of great quality. I'm making sure I move the right way. I'm making sure that I'm doing great things, not to better reflect myself, but to better reflect the culture that I'm in. My peers and the people who came before me. That's pretty much what the culture is, okay? Or what it means to do it for the culture. So they say that Bruno Mars is appropriating the culture because Bruno Mars has hits off of New Jack Swing, disco, pop, a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of jazz. Like he's taken. I wouldn't say he's taken, because then no, but he's used a lot of influential music to make his own influential music. You know what I'm saying? But not many people was talking about Bruno Mars appropriating black culture until he got rewarded for his music. Bruno Mars. It's too close for me. Bruno Mars makes good music, okay? When you are talented and when you make good music, eventually you will be rewarded for it. It does not matter your genre, in my opinion. But my true problem with this argument is, a lot of the people who claim that Bruno Mars is appropriating the culture or stealing from black people are the people who, before they make this statement, comes out and says, I have never liked Bruno Mars. I think he's annoying. I think he's not that good. And you can't state that you don't like this person and then try and convince me that this person is doing something terrible, because I'm gonna think that you are giving him a biased opinion. Some people, what was one argument I heard? Prince has never got an album of the year, yet Bruno Mars is stealing from black people, something like that, and he's getting album of the year. First of all, when Prince was around, Prince was making music, not many black people were getting album of the year. That's a fact. We are in a new time where minorities are getting rewarded for their talents. Michael Jackson, Prince, and all those other people that y'all named didn't get rewarded for their talents. We're in a time where black people wasn't getting rewarded for their talents. Michael Jackson got lucky. Michael Jackson surpassed everything, pretty much. Michael Jackson broke the barrier for everything, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson wouldn't have gotten rewarded if he didn't work as hard as he did. If he didn't make such good music, you have to like his music. And people say, oh no, he wasn't as big once he turned white, which is not true at all. His album sales decreased. Thriller is still one of his best albums. I'm pretty sure sales-wise and sonically, that is still one of his best albums, and Michael Jackson was black on there. once Michael Jackson turned white, you know what I'm saying, that's when people started trashing him for apparently, you know, being a pedophile, and like people at a certain point just stopped liking Michael Jackson. They appreciated his talents and knew he was a great person. People still bought his album. People still knew he was the king of pop. But his popularity wasn't as big as when he was doing Thriller and Billie Jean and stuff. I don't think it was a color thing. It was just the times were kind of weird, you know. But with Bruno Mars, he is getting rewarded, you know what I'm saying, for his talent, just like Kendrick did. You may not agree with it. You may feel somebody else was deserving of it, but I want to know who. I'm not 100% aware of who was in the running for the Grammys. I know SZA got robbed, but that was by that girl. I can't think of her name right now. Alyssa Cara or whatever. But Bruno Mars, all the other people Bruno Mars went against. 24 Karat Magic, I've never listened to it because it's not my type of music. I heard it was a real good album. I heard that it was one of the best albums that came out last year. So why shouldn't he have gotten rewarded for having one of the best albums? And the reward he got was for having one of the best albums. I want to know who did y'all want to win? Because I feel like this conversation is going to be had no matter who. You know what I'm saying? I feel people like to use certain words because it makes them seem more intelligent without doing their research. Because first of all, whenever Bruno Mars is interviewed, whenever Bruno Mars is asked about, you know, his music, he nerds out. He talks about how influenced he is and how appreciative he is of the genre that he is taking from. He's always paying homage to every single person that inspired him to make these types of songs. How is that appropriating the culture? If Bruno Mars was like, oh yeah, I created this type of music myself, I'm making all this money off of something I invented, I am the most original artist that ever was, then maybe you can say he's appropriating the culture. He's taking from the culture and not crediting the people, which is what appropriating is. But for him to always credit those people that he has been inspired from, Michael Jackson, Prince, the New Jack Swing Crew, everybody that he has said, hey, shouts out to these dudes, they really helped me in my career. I've enjoyed this music and I'm glad that I can make this music relevant in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? How is that a bad thing? How is paying homage a bad thing? How is taking genres you're influenced from a bad thing? People saying like, oh, we're allowing this cover artist to be rewarded for just covering other stuff. He is sampling. He is sampling other genres and putting it into his type of music. How is that a bad thing? Hip hop in the 90s, which is arguably the best era for hip hop, was full of samples. Everywhere. Even today's hip hop has samples thrown in every bit of it. If you listen closely, if you're very informative on music and different genres of music, you can hear a sound in a certain hip hop song or a certain R&B song and be like, I've heard that before. Sampling is what's done not just in hip hop, it's done in pop music. Sampling is what happens. So why is Bruno Mars being called a cultural vulture? Because he's sampling other genres and paying for these samples. He's putting money out of his own pocket to pay for these samples, paying homage to the people who created these samples and who paved the way for that sound. You know what I'm saying? And he's part black. Also, there are current black artists right now who will walk up to a camera and say, I don't care nothing about rap music. I don't care nothing about R&B. I'm just trying to pay the bills. I'm just trying to get a nice house. I'm just trying to get a nice car. I'm trying to get out the struggle. That's all I'm doing. I don't care about the culture. You know what you know who says those type of statements? Culture vultures. People who only want the money, who will sacrifice the quality of their music for monetary gain because they don't care about the culture. They don't care about the people before them. All these mumble rappers are culture vultures. They don't care about Tupac. They don't care about Biggie. All they care about is making money off of the garbage music that they put out. That's all they care about. They are culture vultures. But this man winning a Grammy for having one of the best albums last year, repeatedly crediting the people who have gave him the sound that he is using repeatedly in interviews. And he's black. How is he a culture vulture? How? Okay? Maybe I'm missing out on something. Maybe he said something like, oh, I don't care nothing about this new jet swing. I'm just taking this stuff because it gives people a little nostalgia, and nostalgia pays, and that's all I care about. Even if he did say that, he's not lying. There are movie directors who say, yeah, we're creating this remake because nostalgia pays, and we're like, oh, well, he's right. I do remember all the things from my childhood that weren't as good as I thought they were. Let me go check it out again. And then when they see it, they're like, oh, no, they messed this movie up. Go watch that movie that you saw 20 years ago that you thought was the greatest movie of all time. Go watch it right now and tell me that wasn't garbage. But I'm going on a different tangent. Bruno Mars, man. This dude is not a culture vulture. This dude has worked hard for a long time. Bruno Mars has been around for about 10 years. Making hits. Writing for other people. Putting his work in, and finally he is, doing what he loves, taking from genres that he enjoyed, that influenced him, that made him want to be a singer, that made him want to perform the way he performs, and we're just bashing him for it because he was rewarded for having one of the best albums last year. If you didn't want him to be rewarded for having one of the best albums, why did you support it? Why did you allow that album to get as big as it did? Because he wouldn't have won a Grammy if that album wasn't getting buzz, and it wouldn't have got buzz if it wasn't for the people. Right? Y'all was bumping Bruno Mars last year. Y'all was dancing to 24 Karat Magic and That's What I Like. Y'all was dancing to it. Trust me, I know. So y'all can't get mad when how the Grammys works. How the Grammy works is what is most recognizable to these bunch of people. They're people from every category, 9 categories, people who aren't aware of another category, but they base their votes off of what is most recognizable to them. Oh, I know who Kendrick Lamar is. I'll put him as best album of the year, best artist of the year. Oh, I know who Bruno Mars is. Boom. I'm making it. That's how it works. Bruno Mars is one of the most recognizable names right now. And that's how he won a Grammy. Because that's how the Grammys work. It's more of a popularity contest. Then it's not. And people aren't aware of that yet. Even though people from the Academy or whatever it's called have said repeatedly, it's technically a popularity contest. The most recognizable person is the person most likely to win. People know who Jay-Z was, but people are like, the people who heard Damn were like, Damn was better, but the people who haven't heard it still knew who Kendrick Lamar was. But anyway, that's it for me. Leave Bruno Mars alone. I'm so tired of everybody just throwing around this culture vulture, cultural appropriation stuff. I swear in the past 6 months, any person who is not dark-skinned has been called a culture vulture. Or anybody who's not black has been called a culture vulture because they like black people music and they want to make music like. If we really want to get down to it, there is no way you will find any genre of music that was not at one point black people music. Rock music, like we don't see nothing about these rock stars. Rock music was created by black people. Jazz, rap, R&B, anything you name most likely started from black people. We gotta know the difference between Elvis and Eminem. You know what I'm saying? There are people who don't care about the culture, who just want to make money off of it, who don't pay homage, and then there are people who do. And we gotta tell the difference. We can't just start throwing words around, because that reflects badly on us. It really does, because it's like we're shunning people who are only out here to help us. Not saying we need help, but some people really like us. Some people really like our music, and some people really enjoy what we do and would love to be a part of it, part of the community that is our music. We can't just kick people out when they get rewarded for stuff that we're also being rewarded for. Black people getting rewarded for everything now. We getting our props now. If they can't get theirs, but we can get ours, then what's the point of fighting for equality? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's it for me. Also, don't forget to check out my homie dropped the EP a few weeks ago called I'm pretty sure it's called Villains of Prelude. I'll put a link below for it. It's a 4-song EP. It's by the homie PalmTree toney. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the dudes I rap with. He dropped his own solo EP. Check it out. Got some nice little bangers on there. I'm sure some of y'all will like it. That's it for me. I'm out. Too sweet. Deuces.